keeping you connected to our community. 11 Connects.
Welcome into 11 Connects. I'm your host, Samantha Bassarico, and today we're at Hydrix, Colorado Tree Farm Nursery, and I'm with Levi. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
So Colorado's weather is obviously unpredictable. It's a beautiful day right now. So people are probably wondering, when can they start planting?
Right, we get that question a lot, and it varies by the year, and in Colorado it varies by the day. The short answer is as soon as we can start to dig in the ground, we can start to plant. So the first season will kind of be trees. We're in the process, we're getting ready for our spring dig season, which we will literally be having our growers digging thousands of new trees for us to sell to our customers and to plant in your beautiful yards. But the short answer is as soon as you can start to dig in the soil, the ground's not frozen, then we can start to plant. So initially we'll kind of in late February, March, early April, we get into the tree season, and then the shrubs and perennials and all that kind of stuff will start coming in late March, early April, and then by Mother's Day, we're just rocking and rolling.
And we talked about pruning before. I learned what this is. So what is this, and can people do it now?
You can. So we're getting a lot of calls about pruning. There's some great fact sheets. If you go to Colorado State University's website and say pruning fact sheet as your search, it'll pop up some really good publications. But right now is a great time to prune deciduous trees, which is like what's behind us. They're dormant, they don't have leaves on them. You can see the structure, so that if you're actually pruning to get good structure, you can see the entire tree. And if you have damage, broken branches, tears, things that died, branches that have died off, then now is a great time to prune them. The trees are dormant, so we're not stimulating growth right now. And again, because you can see everything, since they don't have leaves, it's just a great time to prune.
And let's say someone is eager to get planting and we have snow later on.
Right.
So what do they do about that, and does the way that they water kind of vary with this?
So let's talk about the snow. So you got to understand, it's Colorado, so most of our trees will tolerate 99% of the weather that we get. Yes, we get bomb cyclones, or we get 2 feet of snow on May 22nd when the trees have leaves and it weighs them down and breaks them. The snow itself is great. We need the moisture. You know, yes, we lose days of work because of mud and wet conditions, but the snow itself, the cold weather, really won't hurt the trees. Now, we do have extremes. That storm we had in December where we went from the 30s to the -20 in less than 12 hours, we're probably going to see some damage to, especially conifers. We've seen some, not as bad as the 2019 storm. Deciduous trees, we won't know till they leaf out and see what happened. So the weather is Colorado. I mean, we always are going to have those extreme storms that can damage it. But as far as postponing your planting, I wouldn't. The early spring, when the trees and shrubs are dormant, is one of the best times to plant. All the energy to grow all of the roots for that season will then happen in your yard instead of the nursery. Your selection is always the biggest. We're going to build this inventory up now through mid-May, and then it'll dwindle down. It'll stay pretty constant through the summer, but the peak inventory for trees is coming up here in the next 2 or 3 months.
And as far as watering goes, do they need to maybe water a little bit more or less with some snow?
So if your ground has been covered, so like I live in Black Forest, and my ground has been covered with 10 inches of snow since right after Christmas. I have not winter watered trees that have had snow cover. If you live south of the trees or in areas that are exposed, like behind us, you can see little patches of snow in bare areas. Trees that have not had snow melting, and I'm talking several inches of snow melting, need to be watered. Deciduous trees that lose their leaves in the fall should be watered once or twice a month with a slow soak if the ground's not frozen. Your evergreen trees, so spruce, fir, pine, broadleaf like euonymus, things like that, you want to mist them. Go out and mist those needles 2 or 3 times a month, and if the ground's not frozen, soak the ground too. The needles have a stomata that transpires moisture, and they don't lose those like a deciduous tree loses its leaves, so it's important to winter water.
And then lastly, I mean, you guys are still open.
Yep.
If people want more information, where can they get that?
We're located at Woodman and Black Forest Road. The address is 7440 Templeton Gap Road, or check us out online, coloradotreefarmnursery.com. We have a ton of information on our website, and we are open 6 days a week.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yep.